it's Paul from Alexander Knife Sharpening. So what I wanted to show you is how my current process I'm doing for serrated knives. And I know I've mentioned it before and I've even done some other videos, but I want to give you like a really close up view and kind of show you how nice this comes out and how I'm actually doing them. So you'll see here, I have a serrated knife here. Now, typically when knives that are serrated go dull, it's because the apex is rolled to one side or the other. And you can usually see it a lot of times. So do you see the little shiny reflected area up here? A lot of times if you take your thumbnail or your finger, you'll feel that hook of where it's rolled over. And some of these are on the back side. I can feel up in the front of this knife that a lot of this has rolled over to this side. Some of it's rolled that way, but down here at the bottom I'm feeling a hook on the inside. So some of these have actually rolled inside, have rolled towards me. So in all honesty, it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference to me what side it rolled to, but this is what I like to do now. So I like to get in here and I like to take almost, I wouldn't say it's a zero angle, but it's really, really close. But if you notice here also, this is a very small cut down trizec belt. I cut this trizec belt down to about 3 millimeters. So it fits very nicely in where the scallop section is. And what I like to do is I like to start on the flat side, and I like to And keep in mind, also, my machine goes both directions, so I'm going to be going edge trailing, so my belt's going to be going up. And what I like to do is I like to hit right at the tooth, which pulls the sharp, pointy tooth back up a bit and thins that out and starts to correct that. And then I like to hit in the scallop area. And what I look for it to do, and you'll see it, if you look real close, you'll see the little, like, shiny area will get ground away, and it gets, so what we start doing is we start creating a new burr, and we're gonna basically, I'm gonna push a burr all the way over to the inside. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over to my vise where I have my magnetic mount, and I'm gonna hit the other side with a wire wheel on a Dremel tool, which kind of starts honing it. And then I hit it with leather. And I'm going to show you the whole process. It doesn't take that long, but it really gives beautiful results and the best looking results that I've seen. So I used to try and hit on the inside of this scallop, but I found that that just doesn't work as well, and it tends to make it not look nice. It doesn't look like custom, like it came from the factory. And it kind of, like, I don't know, I just don't like the look of it. So let's see, let me see if you can see this here. All right, so right here, you'll see, can you guys see that shine? I think I'm going to make a tiny camera adjustment here. Looking at, okay. So, I mean, I'm talking this little tiny shiny area right at the very apex up there. Okay, you see that? All right, so let's watch what I do here with this little tiny 3 millimeter belt. All right, so I'm going to start, and I'm very lightly going right across that tip. Now, do you see that little shine there? This is the first one I really see is rolled. You'll see as I work that, see it's gone? See how we ground that right out? Now I'm going to hit that tip again, and I like to get down right in those scallops, but from the flat side till I see that shiny rolled area disappear. And then I know that I have created a new burr on that inside that's rolled over. And you don't really see it. What you see is that little shiny area. You see it disappearing as I grind this and go right up against that flat. And that's why I love these belt splitters, because I couldn't do this without, I don't want to say you couldn't do it without it, but you can't do it this well without having a little tiny belt like this. And I even had to make adjustments to my belt splitter. It's not designed to split this low. I actually had to take one of the screws out, but it makes it very easy for me to create a belt of this size. And this is what I do with my old Trizac belts. All right, so you'll see now it's all gone. Here's a tiny little piece there. You see that little shiny bit there on that tooth? I'll hit that, take that out. Yeah, I see a tiny bit more there. So sometimes I'll come back on another angle. But basically, what I did now, I'm going to hit this end here, is I pushed that burr all to the inside. I can feel it. So there's a burr now on the inside. But the teeth now also feel more grabby. And let me show you the back side. You'll see. You can barely tell that I touched it because it was almost a zero angle that I took there. All right. So now let's go over to my vise. When you're dealing with serrated knives and you do that, you end up making kind of a significant burr. You don't always see it until you start honing it and deburring it. So what I like to do is I take a Dremel with a simple little wire wheel, steel wire wheel, and what this is going to do is it's going to actually start honing it, but it's going to start, now I'm going to knock that burr again back to the other side, or eventually we want to get it off and just refine, and I'm going to do that on the paper and leather wheel. All right, so can you guys see? All right, and this doesn't take much, but I will look because you will see it come off. And I like to just get in there. And this really gives it a nice look again because it goes with the grain of the knife, but it knocks that pretty stiff burr that I created right to the other side. Now it's still there. It is not gone yet, but probably parts of it have flown off. All right, but already that's feeling much grabbier. But I'm going to show you that there's still foily burr there. And let me see if I can get a good camera angle for you here. Okay, so what I did here was I cut in a different piece of video. I did 3 serrated knives for this person. And knife number 2, you could see much better that foily burr that I'm talking about. You see it at the bottom of the knife here. So I just wanted to show you a better representation of that. And you'll see I'll go right down the knife. I did this by freehand. I didn't even put it in the Dremel, or I didn't even put it in the vise. But you'll see I'm going down with the Dremel tool and see the front teeth there where I already knocked it off of, and it comes off pretty quickly. And now I'm just kind of showing you the same thing, and right down, and just see that little shiny section just vanishing as I go down there. And then I went back to the vise just to finish it up here so that I make sure that I have it right. But I wanted just to cut this in just so you could see that because the first knife, that part of the video didn't come out that great. You couldn't really see that foily burr that I wanted you to see. Thank you. Now, and what normally I'll do is I'll go pretty fast. I'll go kind of work it down like that. I'm doing this for your purposes so you guys can see it. And then I'm going to come over this side. Now it's back on this side. And I'm going to keep working until I knock it off. And then what happens is eventually, I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Can you guys see that? Because you can see, okay, that looks like it's in focus there. Let me make sure I'm up. You'll start to see that little piece of foily burr. You see that coming off? It's just getting knocked off. Now, sometimes you might get a little bit of stubborn burr, which I see some in there. I might come to my paper wheel. Because it's just a little bit more aggressive than a leather wheel. Ooh. Now let me tell you, that feels really, really sharp now. So this was barely cutting anything. It wasn't grabbing paper at all. So here is my U-line catalog, and watch this. I mean, it is super, super sharp. Now let me show you. Let me get you a good look here so you guys can see this. And look at the scallops. I mean, you see that? They are perfect. There's no weird marks on them. They are perfectly shaped, and that knife is looking just beautiful. Now, my final part that I like to do sometimes is just to take it to one of my dental abrasive and polish it up on the back side. And I could polish up both sides, but a lot of times what I'll do is I will hit that back side where I sharpen with this. This is a 14,000 grit dental abrasive. And I can hit the front too. It's not going to hurt it at all. It's not going to dull it. I'm just going to go down and kind of polish this right back up. And then just show you the final results here. See a lot of oxidation here down at the end of this. So I'm going to go to a little, slightly more aggressive. This is 400 grit here. And I'm not even touching, I'm nowhere near the scallops. I'm doing up here. I'm just cleaning up the appearance here of this knife. I also love to hit the bolster areas, shine them up. They come out really beautiful. Yeah, it's looking good. I'm just going to hit this top edge. And same here, this top edge here. Just be careful when you turn around, whenever your blade's not down, going into your dental abrasive. Very, very careful not to get that, into there, or you'll cut the teeth off. Let me show you these final results of this. Look at this. Look at that. I mean, it looks brand new. It's gorgeous, right? I'll show you the back side. That looks great. And I'll show you, it didn't dull it at all. It's still crazy sharp. Look, it's push cutting. You see that? It's push cutting through those scallops. Sorry, it's a little out of focus, but there we go. Look at this. The serrated knife is push cutting. That's how sharp it is. So that is my process that I use, and I can only do that, like I said, because I have these little tiny belts that I make with my belt split.